everyone. My name's Britain Cline, Ad Sales Manager, and welcome to this week's normal edition of Marketing Minutes by Scuba Diving Industry Magazine.
Yes, hi, welcome everyone. I'm William Klein, publisher, and we're back in the studio. This weekend we were in Long Beach, weren't we? Yeah. I think we recorded like 14 sessions, I think, something like that.
Yeah,
some crazy number.
Great, and it was just such a pleasure to be there, and I felt like that was receptive all around.
So we go from Long Beach to Texas to now. Who's our guest today, Britain?
Today, our guest is Jeff Birch, owner of Small Hope Bay Lodge on Andros in the Bahamas. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Hey, welcome, guys. Thank you.
Well, I'm excited, Britain, because it's one of my favorite destinations, Andros Island, and it's beautiful. It's like going to the South Pacific or Fiji, and yet it's, a 45-minute plane ride from Fort Lauderdale, which is amazing.
It's incredible. So, Jeff,
That's
kind of
right.
just to jump right into it, Small Hope Bay Lodge has been a pioneer in dive tourism since its establishment in 1960. So in your own perspective, how has the resort maybe evolved over the decades to adapt to changes in the ever-changing dive industry? And what strategies have you seen maybe that you've employed to maintain that appeal in the modern dive world?
Well, first of all, can you hear me okay?
Yes,
I just realized I got music. I just realized I got background music.
We can't hear it. It sounds perfect.
No worries at all.
Sound great.
Okay. All right, so here's what's happening. Small Hope we did our first dives in 1960.
Wow.
So the only certification agency that we can figure out was YMCA.
Right.
And of course, they only did it for a short period of time.
Right.
And so we were the first, I think, in the world in terms of ongoing recreational diving outside of Cousteau. And now I think we're the oldest resort in the world that has been diving consistently for 65 years.
Wow.
I think that the back in the 60s and 70s, of course, the only tables you had for diving was the U.S. Navy tables. And so as we know, all of the certifying agencies are based on the U.S. Navy tables. Turn that music off for me, please, Dennis, turn that music off for me. So what happened is, so the 60s and 70s were pretty rankus. People were, to be honest, people were real divers. And I hate to say that about the potential new divers, but back then, really, what was there? There wasn't kite flying. There wasn't, all of these other activities that people do. So
Sure.
People came down and they dove, and we used the U.S. Navy tables. Now, as the certifying agencies came along, we conformed our U.S. Navy tables to the standards of the RSTC, and however, we still maintained the recreational use of the tables for deeper dives that we've been doing for quite some time, and we're not promoting them or anything, but so I think what has happened with the new divers is that what we've done is we have kind of changed to the fact that in the old days, 60s, 70s, 80s, there were J valves. We were one of the last pioneers kind of leaving the J valves, the 72 steels, and we took the little pull mechanism off of them. So we were using the buddy system from 1960, and used a horse collar, and then used a weight belt. Now everybody's got a BC. So I think that the equipment has come a long way. It's much safer. I think that it allows persons to dive that actually wouldn't necessarily get that opportunity before, because there just weren't enough places that were open.
Right.
So
Exactly.
60s and 70s was just crazy. I mean, people were diving and they were doing everything from 0 to 190 and so forth. So things, I would say what has actually taken place, if you ask me, now is that customer service, ensuring that you kind of hold people's hands a little bit more, but at the same time, you recognize the experienced diver. So you allow the experienced diver to do what it is that they want to do. But you hold the hands of those that are new.
Which is exactly my next question. That's exactly what I was just getting ready to ask you. How do you handle different experience levels from groups that say are showing up, you know?
Well, here's what happened. We're very blessed with the fact that where my old man came down here, there was no road, electricity, or telephone lines. We're the last kind of bastion of country as you can get in the out islands of the Bahamas, right? So what happened is he was the pioneer of the resort course. And he had what we call a cadre of ambassadors. We call them the ambassadors. And now I have 10 of them. I have an English one, a South African one, a couple of Brits,
Wow.
4 Bahamians, etc.
Wow.
And what we do is we in the old days, he had 7 kids that ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner with the guests. Now we have my ambassadors, and we spend time with our guests. So the newbies, whether they're doing a resort course or they're getting certified or whatever, we just man up and buddy up with them. The experienced divers, of course, they can be by themselves. Unless we're doing a follow the leader dive, they can. We have a system of where we have a white bucket that we use, or if we're communicating underwater. So we buddy up with folks now because we have that great diversity that you saw in the video a little bit earlier. So we have, I think, some of the greatest diversity in the world in a 20-minute boat ride. So what's happened is well, we can leave at the fashionable hour of 9 o'clock. So we leave at 9, we do a 70 or 90 foot or deeper. We come back to a 30, 40 foot site, and then we come back for lunch, which is kind of nice. And then we go back out at 2 for a third tank. Now what happened is this allows, the second dive allows snorkelers to go. So it's one of the few places where you can, if you happen to come with a snorkeler or, a non-diver, let's say, non-scuba diver, because snorkelers are divers, then they can dive the second dive of every day. And then the divers go out to the 30, 40 foot site, and then the snorkelers go. So I think what it is that we've been doing it for 65 years. And it doesn't matter whether or not you're with a group or whether you're alone. We're going to give you the full gambit of what we offer. So we don't cancel dives. We don't cancel night dives. We don't cancel anything based on a number of people that are available.
That's great.
Because it's not your fault that I don't have, however many divers.
Right.
So that's pretty much how we take advantage of nowadays with the divers.
So you're sitting outside clearly. You're live from your resort. Why don't you show us a little with your phone, kind of where you're at? Because I see it. I see a beautiful beach behind you. It looks like.
Oh yeah. That's a private beach, and over there is the hot tub. I don't know how to do a finger. We got the hot tub over there.
That's cool.
Then if I turn it this way, this is our outside bar. And there's our dock.
Oh, how
and what's
beautiful.
wonderful about the dock is that it's walking distance from the cabins.
So
once you put your gear out there, you're good to go. So the boat pulls up, and then we put your equipment on. You can assemble it yourself if you want. And then what happens is that we go for our dives. Now, the main lounge is there. And then we have bicycles and kayaks and all of that. And
Looks
then
beautiful, doesn't it,
the
Britain?
rooms are down this way.
Cool. It's very cool. This is the first time we've had somebody using their camera for a live shot at a resort. That's really cool.
There you go. A little bit of wind today, not much.
That looks beautiful.
Fantastic. Wow.
There you go. So
that's amazing. So
yeah, man.
Could you maybe elaborate a little bit on the role of Small Hope Bay Foundation in promoting environmental stewardship and community engagement, and maybe how these initiatives enhance the resort's appeal to eco-conscious type travelers?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people who know the Bahamas or are professionals in the Bahamas know Dick Birch, and that was my father. And informally, he had the deepest record of diving. And he swore he'd never publicize it. But anyways,
How
he
deep
was
did he
a
go?
nature in
Yeah.
How deep to go? I gotta know.
462.
Or don't tell Neil
462.
Watson that. Don't tell Neil Watson that. No.
That's right.
No, so well, no, but he didn't want to publicize it.
Of
First of all, I
course.
don't know that he did it where he could, but he thought it was the dumbest thing that he did. He did it in 1962.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
duh.
Yeah.
Anyways, what happened is the sorry, are you still there?
Yeah, we hear you just fine.
Okay, no, because somebody tried to call me. The you can still hear me, right?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, no, you're
Okay, good.
solid.
All right, okay. All right. Yeah, so Dad was a nature enthusiast. So we built a resort to be nature sensitive. I don't say it's an eco lodge only because I like to be true to what we say.
For sure.
I would say that we're extremely eco-sensitive. So teaching and working with the community and trying to do recycling to the best of our ability, trying to maintain the reef to the best of our ability is what we've always done. But in 2001, 20, somewhere around there, 2019, I had an intern who was a lawyer from Chicago, and she wanted to change her career. So when she was leaving after internship, she said, Jeff, you ever thought about a 501c3? And I went, no. And she said, well, you know, with my old law firm, maybe we should, I'll talk to them. So we became a pro bono, and they assisted us and kind of directed us. And so now we have Small Hope Bay Foundation.
Wow.
And it is a 501c3, and it has, if you want to go to the website, it tells you everything, Small Hope Bay Foundation .org. And what happened is we have 4 major initiatives that we're doing right now. One is the moorings. We're trying to put moorings on all of our sites. We have over 100 sites.
That's cool.
And we're going to utilize this mooring system for bone fishermen, for other people that have their boats, if they'd like us to do it. And then that's one. The second one is we have one of the largest nurseries in the country.
Wow.
We have 15 trees. We outplant about 1,500
No kidding.
flowers a year.
Wow.
Right, and we're looking forward to doing fragmentation in the fall
Absolutely.
or thereabouts. The next one that I think is the one we're the proudest of, and that we've been doing for many, many years, is the teaching of kids. But we now have taught 80 open waters, about 16 advanced, and about 10
That's very cool.
rescues.
Amazing.
And
Wow.
we're kind of organizing ourselves to where we move a little bit more towards the professional level. Because Bahamians, anyways, and then the last one is sea urchin relocation. We're trying to clear areas of the algae and get some sea urchins out there, and working on that. We also have a swimming program. I just finished getting 2 of my ambassadors specially certified as instructors in swimming. So we're hitting the primary schools and trying to get them to get involved with the swimming program. So
That's a real issue in a
and
lot
we're
of
also
islands.
doing-
Yeah.
well, the thing is Bahamians, we live, I don't know what it's like in Maldives and so forth, but in the Bahamas, it's kind of a shame. We live in a nation of islands, but a lot of Bahamians can't swim.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So anyways, what the Small Hope Foundation did is it took away from Small Hope Bay Lodge the whole nature / environmental program, and it's all based on the marine environment, some mangrove work that we're doing, and it's made it to have a life of its own. So if something happens to Small Hope, the Small Hope Bay Foundation will live and operate on its own, which makes
cool.
my heart light. You know,
Yeah. That's
it
Absolutely.
makes
great.
me feel very happy.
You're really giving back. It's amazing. So most people listening to this are either dive shop owners or they're travel sellers or instructors out there. What kind of tools does Small Hope Bay have, or how does it incentivize groups to come to your operation? Because I know you clearly probably have a package program. You probably have comps, things like that. You want to talk just a little bit about some of the programs that you offer for groups?
Sure. What happened is we're an all-inclusive, and we're a true all-inclusive. So I can kind of tell you, don't let the sticker price worry you. I think that value for money is something that we deliver on an ongoing basis. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here for 65 years or have some of the ratings that we have.
Definitely.
We have a group program. We start off with 10 or more divers, 1 free and 10%. But things sometimes as everything, it depends on the time of year,
Right.
etc. Now, it's very important that groups understand that they can train if they want. They can do their own training here.
Well, that's nice.
No problem.
Yeah, so retailers can do classes.
We have backup SSI and Patty, so we're a center for both of them. But so that's one. Number two is if a travel agent and or a dive shop decides or has the facility to do single travel or couples travel, all they have to do is call us and let us know that they're referring somebody, and we can do all the logistics from that point onward, and we'll give them a commission.
Oh, that's nice.
Traditional with a travel agent.
That's great. That's great.
So they don't have to go through all of the gyrations, because I did when I was just out at the LA Scuba Show, I did 2 seminars, and most of the seminar was based on the out islands of the Bahamas, because I'm an out island. Okay. Right. And sometimes it's a little bit daunting for people. How the heck do you get to the out islands? Well, it's actually very easy. The problem is that some of the air travel is not on the GDS, so we can't bring it up on Expedia, Travelocity, blah blah blah. But we have service here 4 times a day from Nassau, and Makers Air and Aztec Air come on a regular basis out of Fort Lauderdale International.
That's easy.
And so getting here is very easy, but we make it even easier. You tell us how you want to get here, and we'll help make it happen.
That's great.
Wow.
That's great. So, Jeff, this has been a really cool interview. And
Absolutely.
we are 160 days to the DEMA show.
November's coming around the corner.
5 issues to go. And I assume you're going to be there, of course, with the Bahamas and the Out Islands. And I bet you're going to have some DEMA show specials probably coming out in the next month or two, correct? Yeah. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great. Well, we look forward to seeing you in Orlando. We're not going to see you before then, I don't think. But so, Britain, thanks again, Jeff, for being on our show. Who do we got lined up for our next guest?
Yes, our next guest is Sarah Jane Harlan, Sales and Marketing Manager at Clearly Caymans Resort, talking about diving in the Cayman Islands. So make sure you tune in for that episode next week, I believe.
We go from Long Beach to Texas to the Bahamas to Cayman tomorrow.
We're all over the map.
Anyhow, thanks for being with us. Jeff, thanks again for being our guest today. And any final parting words you'd like to say?
I'd like to say just check us out at smallhope.com, and you can look us up on TripAdvisor. And if you want some really easy diving and you have some non-divers in your group or your family, that's what we're known for. We're a family resort.
Fantastic. I love it.
Mi casa es su casa.
I love it. I love it. That's a great slogan. All right.
Great.
Thanks again, Jeff. We'll see you later. Bye, everybody.
Okay,
Till next episode.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hi, everyone. My name's